I hoped this wouldn't go out, but it did. This is the double, one of the doubles that's supposed to marry Wallace Simpson. That is not Edward VIII. And this doesn't even look like the rest of the doubles that, that they used. My dad was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe and never had anything to do with that. They took him down with character assassination. I wanted to put this up real quick because I meant to put all this on one tape, and this is going to be the second one, so I didn't get it up there. I was writing about mind control, and the shooting of Larry Flint happened when I was doing the book. Later, I'm flown out there during that campaign, October of '83, and that's when Larry McDonald, one of the doctors, U.S. congressman, I wrote about in the book and was almost killed, got the letters from the FBI. He was supposed to be on the KAL from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea when it went down with 260 plus aboard, August 31st of '83. Now then, it's questionable of whether he was really on the plane or they took the whole plane and all those passengers down, because the pilot veered into Russian airspace 10 miles in, and of course he shot it down. Now, Nixon was taken off that flight just prior to takeoff. So you get into the Watergate tapes and to what's his name that's got a book out. You thought he was a good guy from the Washington Post, and he's got this scaling book about President Trump, which he was part of the one that I can't think of his name right at the moment. I just saw it. I don't like him anymore. What was his name? The movie, anyway, you know who I'm talking about. So I want to get on with this and get it if I can. So I was writing about what turned out to be, and I'm rambling because I want to get the last part of this up. Implantable biochips is what I was telling about. And this man, Tex Mars, has written about, this is later, I started doing this in '76 about biochips and Mark of the Beast and it being Revelations and all that. And this young man, Timothy McVeigh, I think I just put that up on the other one, had a chip in him, and even puts it here. The Army put it in his buttocks, implanted in his buttocks. And he was programmed to blow up the federal building in Oklahoma City, and he was put to death. Okay, here's what I was putting. I'm turning around. This is where I get in trouble when I turn the phone around. When I was out at Larry Flint's, let me get back to this real quick. During the campaign, I was trying to give background so you know where I'm coming from, and some people say that I put it up too much, but then those come back and say, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm doing the best I can here. Mr. Flint showed me the parody when I was out there in '83 in October during the campaign. Little did I know that I was going to end up here in Roanoke, and he preceded me. He was here in the Poff building. I'm being redundant now with the first tape I just put up. So he was actually put in jail in Butner, North Carolina, and tortured back in late '82 in Hustler magazine. Had to get his brother, somebody got his power of attorney, and I guess that was a good thing, but they tortured him up there. Now, who was he was a program shooter that was put up in Butner, North Carolina, and I can't recall who it is. You can Google and see, though, because you had the person that was supposed to, what's his name now, I've forgotten, supposed to have done the Piedmont Park bombing in Atlanta. He was on the Appalachian a long time, hiding out. He was programmed. I can't remember his name right at the moment. Oh, I hate that. I shouldn't have even said that. Anyway, Butner, North Carolina was where Flint was put in jail and tortured up there. And his wife, Althea, tried to help all she could. And back to, he had shown me the drafts, or whatever you want to call it, galley proofs, that they don't use anymore, but he showed them to me, and I thought, what's he showing this? I wondered about it. So now then, I end up in Roanoke, and I never thought that would happen. I didn't see it coming. And he's up here too, and he's in the POF building, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and I'm just going to quit and let it. I've done all I can, really, at the moment anyway, and I hope it makes sense. Can't get it up in 19 minutes or 18, which is on this allotted on the before I have to go to another video and put it up. So anyway, I'm living on the Appalachian Trail, and people are told not to help me, and they didn't. Some of them really went the other way. You laugh. I laugh because I don't know how I'd get with it, get by. So I'm trying to hurry, obviously. So then I'm on the trail, winter, freezing, starving. I almost died up there, and nobody considers the fact they had me blocked. I was on the side of the road going from here to Atlanta to Huntsville, trying to find my kids and a place to live and get the law to work for me, and I couldn't get an attorney or anything. So instead of that, I start going up to the Appalachian Trail, which was the better of the choices I had. Because there's a lot that went on in my trying to get rights and things that was done to me that's never been told, all right? So here comes I guess they would try to tell you that they took care of me. So here I get booted from one, that's a cute little word for it, place to the other. Now I'm going to show you this. Okay, they even had Woody. Okay, remember Woody, who was it that played Larry Flint in the movie? By the way, I was brought down off the mountain in the winter, and that movie, Larry Flint's movie, came out, Flint versus, okay, just government, I guess. It came out, and this guy was told to come up and get me. He brought me down, and the movie opened here in Roanoke. There was about 6 or 7, maybe at the most, movies that would put out openings, and this was one of them. On the date that I use is a birthday. It was open here, and this person came up and brought me down. Well, I ended up right back up on the mountain in the winter, spending the rest of the winter. So anyway, Mr. Flint was here in Roanoke when I was up on the mountain during the being sued by Jerry Falwell about the parody that appeared that Mr. Flint had shown me when I was out there in October of '83 in the campaign. Now Mr. Flint, Liberty University, is suing him in the POF building, and it ends up going to U.S. court and freedom of speech, and Mr. Flint won. But the movie opened here and all that about Woody Harrelson. Okay, well, Woody is one of the people that's in this. He's was a ranger, forest ranger, and it's my understanding he told lies in this that could have, they do what they're told. All right, and it gets into the Ennis was the one probation officer, Larry Flint, when he was here. And and then when I was homeless and they did one of their little stints here, and are they getting, no, they're getting me here. So I have to turn it around. But I'm trying to show you the name game that's done that ties it together. Like Woody Harrelson played in it, and you got Woodrow Wilson that helped in the kidnapping and the murder of the Romanovs up here in Stanton. And then Anastasia, that was really her, was killed up in, when I was driving the Hustler car through, furnished to me, May of '84, and I've given all that up here. She was murdered. Of course, they don't tell you that, but she was murdered. She was married to a professor. Now, I've rattled on. Maybe some people would, if they don't care to understand what I'm going through and have been. I wanted to put this up and just get it up as a matter of record. Okay, Eric Smith was one of them that came out, in Nichols. I forgot her first name. She was an investigator that came out, and she said they were trying to help me with all this. So I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if they kept the bears away from me. I saw them. They were out at my tents at time. Here's one of the things they gave me, and I had to appear in court. And this was Eric that did it. Like I'm this scum of the earth choosing to live in the national forest, and they said I was residing on national forest for residential purposes. Well, You stole me out of Buckingham Palace. You brought me over here. You made a pauper out of me, broke every law in the book, and took my homes, and kept me penniless. Okay, exactly, deliberately. So where do I go? The side of the road? I tried that. Do you want this to be told, Eric, or any of you? Okay, I went through hell. Okay, I want to, oh, this is just more of about that I just showed you about Larry Flint and that. But I'm getting to another one here. This is a warning by Eric Smith, the forest ranger. And I ended up being hauled into federal court, the Poff building, where Mr. Flint had been during the parody thing and the freedom of speech. Okay, I spent a month in jail, and I could have gotten, because Woody, the other ranger, told a lie. Eric told me he did. He told the judge a lie. I didn't know it, and I couldn't get an attorney. They got one. It was supposed to be my attorney. She represented them, really, but she's also the one that put this in front of me, the magazine, and that's the reason I had this. About 1939, and my own uncle, part of my kidnapping. He's with Roosevelt and George. Okay, I'd put that up. Now, at one point, I was banned from the rescue mission. I mean, they're all doing what they're told. I had a book that Jack Hartsfield, saved my life. He's a reporter in FBI. But he did research on Los Alamos. He lived near George O'Keeffe, my aunt, in Ghost Ranch in Abiquiu. And, okay, where am I going with this about... well, I'm losing my train of thought, so let me just get to this. This is one of just the articles that were written about me that doesn't tell a bit of the truth. And I guess I'm getting tired and I better get off because I am rambling now. Jack had given me a book called Were We Controlled by Lincoln Lawrence, and it's talking about mind control and all the things I'm talking about. And it was banned. The book was. It told the truth. It was before its time, really. Okay, Jack gave me that, and I end up here living in Roanoke, and no car, no job, and all this happening to me. So I'm living in the rescue mission, and one of the African-American ladies had some children, and we were all in one room trying to sleep. And it gets a little rough in those, I don't care how nice the rescue mission, or it was better than probably any of them, but you have a rough time, believe me. Oh, I mentioned the book to her, and she wanted to read it. And then what she did with it is she went to the administrator, whoever, the rescue mission, and said I was terrifying, telling these conspiracy things, and it was terrifying them. So they took me outside that day couldn't leave me in there in front of everybody, and said I was going to have to leave because I was scaring people with the book. Well, this is a book that was printed. Jack gave it to me, legit. Okay, so listen to what happens to me. I'm told I'm banned from the rescue mission. Now then, when I'm hauled into court, and I was hauled in there, and the media did cover that, but they didn't tell who I am or anything, that I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, any of this. So I was in jail, and that's an experience all its own. So anyway, let me get into this. This is a picture they took and how they portrayed me. It's from, okay, I'm just going to show you a picture, but real quick. When I got out of the jail, listen to this, and now I don't think you can find it. I don't think it's even in the courts or anything where they arrested me and all this. But I've just told you about the rescue mission banned me because I had that book about mind control that Jack Hartsfield gave me. Okay. Oh, let me keep my train of thought, please. Oh, don't let me lose it here. Okay. Yeah, when I got out of jail that last time, you wouldn't believe what went on there. Oh, boy. Okay, I got out, and they put me in a car, and it was almost a limo, all right? Now, remember, I'd been banned from the rescue mission for letting somebody read this legitimate book that Jack Hartsfield gave me about mind control. Okay, I get in the car and I think, well, golly gee, they're going to find me a place. The U.S. Marshals. Okay, get in this. And okay, I don't know who the driver was. On this side was some Robert with no last name. He used to come up there and help me pull my suitcases up and down the Appalachian Trail. Who pulls suitcases? He helped me move from one spot to the other at times. So he's a U.S. Marshal. He's also a FBI agent. Okay, they wear 2 or 3 hats, let me clue you. And I hope this is still going up, and I'm afraid to turn it around or it'll mess it up. Okay, he's the person in front. And I think, gee, this is the person I've met. Now then, you got African American that's sitting on this side of me. He's suited up. I laugh. It was hell, but I laugh about it. It's so ludicrous, ridiculous. I thought, this is a person that was at the Tap. I had to stay at Tap, and that's rough. That is rough staying there. At the, what did they call it? I've forgotten. It's been a long time ago, but it was one of the Tap homeless shelter things. And I thought, he used to mop the floor. He had a room to himself, but while I was there, he mopped and cleaned. He's a U.S. Marshal. Now, the one on this side, I don't know, but guess where they took me? In the kind of limo, almost a limo. They took me to the rescue mission where I'd been banned from, said I couldn't come back. I was scaring people. So, granted, they made it rough and I didn't stay long there. But I think this is where this letter is, when they did the Atlanta Journal. Nobody could, there was people, press tried to get to me and they wouldn't put them through at the rescue mission. I'm going to turn this slow. It's about to go off, and I want to read this to you. All right. This is November the 26th of 94, right after this happened. Ran for Congress. I know they're hearing me out there, and somebody's going to kick me out. They don't like to hear you. Okay, that's me, and this is me up here on the trail. Ran for Congress 83, ousted from a tent in the National Forest in 94. That's one of the few times. And it's Atlanta Journal called, and they were put through November the 26th of 94. Now, I'm going to read this by Kathy Alexander. 11 years ago, Peggy Childers was among the congressional hopefuls, I won't get it up, in a race to succeed U.S. Representative Larry McDonald, the Cobb County conservative who was killed in the KAL. Shot down over Soviet airspace. Now dubbed Crazy Margaret, listen to this. By hikers along the Appalachian Trail, Childers is in a homeless shelter in Western Virginia, ousted last week by the U.S. magistrate from the tent she called home in the National Forest. It's either that or on the side of the road getting raped. Folks can't just stay there. Those hikers' shelters aren't meant for people to set up residential living centers. And Virginia Assistant U.S. Attorney Ken Sorensen, who prosecuted the case. By the way, while he was doing the case, and he was kind of a decent person. Remember, this is a name game that's linked together by the murders the mind control murders. When that was going on, you can check it in the press. Sorensen, her baby was snatched from her. She was from Sweden, but she was on vacation or something, and it made the news. Her child was taken out of the buggy or whatever she had and kidnapped. Now, whether she got the child back, I don't know, but the name was Sorensen. At the same time, this Sorensen is prosecuting me.